Should a person go to school? And I won't necessarily say for GRC because I don't know if there are any GRC degrees. But should a person that wants to get into GRC get some type of formal education, or should they just go to the certifications that they always try to tell you to get into GRC?
So this is actually, it's funny. I stay out of this conversation just for two reasons. I have degrees. I'm degreed up. I will honestly say that I only say that because even though my bachelor's is different from my master's, I got my master's in like computer science. That was after I decided that's what I wanted to do. And then I did
Your
information
bachelor's degree.
assurance and cybersecurity. Those weren't always majors back then. Those are new and upcoming. So I decided just to do that just because I like school. I like learning. A degree gives you a solid foundation and a broad understanding of the field, right? So a degree in info security or cybersecurity or info systems, it can cover like a wide range of topics, right? So risk management, network security, ethical hacking, and it includes hands-on labs and projects. Some of them, not all of them. That's things that you have to figure out. And it opens doors to a variety of roles, and it's often a requirement for more advanced positions. I can honestly say, knock on wood, all the positions I've had, of course, they do background checks and they see like where you went to school and everything like that, but they did not prioritize a degree. Honestly speaking, I didn't start putting my master's information onto my resume for a bit. I used to think that it would make me almost look overqualified. A lot of positions I felt like they just were like, oh no, she's going to want too much or anything like that. So I didn't put that on there for a while. I'm going to say certifications, on the other hand, they give you more specialized knowledge, right? So now there's more though. Now back then you weren't gonna just get up and say, "Oh, I'm just gonna go get a certification in this." And they had certificate programs and stuff like that, but they just weren't sought after like that. If I was originally going back to high school, graduating, and there were programs like that, and my guidance counselor told me about that, which they didn't, I would have pursued a certification. And I would have seen where that took me. I wouldn't have said that I would not have gotten a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. I like school. I most likely would have continued to pursue my education, but I would have seen where that would have got me without that, without so much that I would have seen. That's just my prerogative. But certs are quicker, more flexible, easier to obtain compared to a degree. It depends on your path. I tell my clients all the time, it's not a rush. If you are looking to do something within the next 6 to 7 months and you're challenging yourself and you want to make a career change within a year or so, then absolutely go do a cert program. If you want to take your time and thoroughly get the foundation and see where it takes you and do projects and maybe that program or that degree program comes with you're able to sit for the exams as well also, then do that too. There's no formal path. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. It just depends on what you're doing. There's plenty of people who go sit for CISA or CISSP or get you certified in risk and information systems control. But then once they pass it, they can't get a job or they get a job and they don't know how to do the work because they haven't done the grunt work. They don't understand the foundation. You just studied to get the cert, to get your foot in the door, but now you can't do the work. Now you can't show the work when you actually get on the floor and do what you have to do. So are beneficial. Degrees are beneficial. Certs are, beneficial for that in-depth knowledge and demonstrating like that expertise in one area. And it shows that, hey, I'm committed to learning, committed to the work. I'm certified in this. I'm knowledgeable. But in an ideal scenario, what I tell everyone, it depends on also what your background is. Combining both, it's the best of both worlds. If you've already have a degree, like my bachelor's, I wasn't going back to go get a bachelor's in IT. I was like, this is a physiology degree. So we're going to use it. I'm going to go ahead and take whatever classes I need to, but I'm going to learn how to speak in my interviews. I'm going to make sure I do projects. I'm going to make sure I do hands-on so I can explain myself during interview. It's different between just answering behavioral questions, but when it gets technical, how did I implement it? How did I do this? How did I change the business with this framework? So when you do stuff like that, then absolutely they see that means nothing to them. As long as you can exemplify that you can actually do the work and perform the duties and make a change, you know, personal circumstance depends on what you want to do. They both have their own advantages.
This video is being brought to you by Level Up in Tech. It's Q3 in 2024, but you still have time to get into the cloud. With the quick search for cloud in Indeed, you can see over 44,000 jobs are listed that is related or pertaining to the cloud. Now, that is a lot. But if you're watching this right now, you might be thinking, well, how do I learn the skills to get into the cloud? Well, we got you covered. Level Up in Tech is one of the best, if not the best, program related to getting people into the cloud. At Level Up in Tech, you can learn about server config and troubleshooting, the AWS cloud, infrastructure as code, CI/CD, scripting, containerization, and more. And also, they now also have a new multi-cloud AI engineering program that is dedicated to help you have the latest and greatest skills to help you be marketable in this tech market. They post more testimonials than almost any program that I could think of. Check them out. Now, if you're ready to start your cloud career today, then use the link in my description to go to levelupintech.com/tech so you can start your career. And plus, they'll know that I sent you. But on to the video.
Ironically, when you were talking, I was starting thinking about doing these consultations with the people who didn't go to school.
Mhm.
And I started thinking about how you may be in more competition for certain roles because all the people who didn't go to school are trying to get those roles. People who at least got the bachelor's qualify for some roles you don't, just because some companies have a hard requirement, like certain industries, what healthcare and what some government jobs, not
Mhm.
all of them, but they have a hard requirement for having a degree. And no matter what the degree is, just as long as you
Right.
have a bachelor's.
Right.
And so I started to see that as things are phasing out more and more, you're having a lot of people starting to speak up on some of the certifications are useless. They need to be more hands-on so people can
Mhm.
have some type of aptitude to say they know how to do something. I'm seeing sort of a shift where it's like half and half, where
Yeah.
the certifications or build up on your skills, or at
Mhm.
least like you say, when you go to college, it rounds out that experience and helps you out in some different ways.
Mhm.
And so I'll just say do it. I always say this for everybody: do what works for you.
Yeah, because
It's,
because you can get caught up in, like, the he say, she say. Because, like, the market perception, they're gonna favor candidates. Just think about it. Degrees are favorable. That's just what they want you to do when you come out of school. They want you to go to school, they want you to spend money, get in debt, do what you have to do. You're favored automatically with degrees, especially for entry-level positions. It just shows that you have that foundational knowledge, right? And employers are gonna possibly want degree holders because they feel like you might have that comprehensive understanding of various aspects of cybersecurity or risk management or whatever that you're doing. Because how do you explain also, I remember I had an interview and then she asked me, she was like, "You have a bachelor's in physiology. How did that translate? How does that work with cybersecurity?" And I was like, I was like, honestly speaking, they don't correlate, but the transferable skills that I've learned, attention to detail, I've learned how to research, I learned how to navigate that because that was my thing when they started paying attention to what you majored in. So first it was like, "Oh, a bachelor's." Then they were like, "Okay, it's not biology, it's physiology." But how did you go from that to that? How do we know that this is, so then I had to spend time doing that. So that's what made me say, maybe I need to get a degree. Maybe I need to go sit for my Security Plus or something so I can have that specialized knowledge and skill to top off my bachelor's. It's just an edge. I call it like possibly an edge, but I think your real edge comes from interviewing. As long as you can speak to it and you learn as you go. For me, and I like to apply to positions where I don't fit probably 40% of the criteria, right? They'll be like, you need to have a PhD, like just something crazy. I'm like, I don't have that. I haven't done that, but I'm going to apply because when I get in the interview, as long as you can do that 20% and you can sell yourself in the interview, that's all that matters. So
yeah,
honestly, it's up to you.
that's facts. And that's one of my goals too. It's like, hey, time we get this resume done, all this, my job is to get you to get interviews as quick as possible. Cause that's learning experience. No matter what I say,
Mhm.
it's showtime once that Zoom meet starts.
Yeah, game based, absolutely, yeah. It just depends. Some people don't have time. Some people are like, "I just wanna sit for the exam. I just want it on my resume. I want to say that I sat for it and I did it and call it a day." They just want to have it and that's it. And you have those who've never sat for the exam and they could sell themselves. I didn't get my CISO or anything until I got it because I was like, "Maybe I should have it because I've been doing this now." They didn't ask me. They would be under requirements and preferred, and I bypassed all of that. CISSP too, that wasn't on my plan. I don't like taking tests,
Yeah.
honestly.
I plan on trying to get into CISSP by September, but I just
Yeah,
gotta keep studying.
yeah,
Just focus on the
it was
domains I don't know.
yeah, it's just a lot. If you're great at test taking, sure, why not? I just didn't feel like at that time, I was like, "It's not important." But then I was like, that's like a physical trainer not looking the physical part, like, maybe I should possibly look like the product I'm trying to sell. So I'm like, maybe I should actually try to get those certs just in case. Knock on wood, they haven't really asked me for anything like that and anything, so I just have it just in case. So
Right.